Good afternoon. Double O here on Double O Direct, a safe space for women with music by women, women guests, and today on the socials. Which woman candidate has your vote? Which woman candidate, MCA, MP, Senator, Governor, which one has won you over? Let me know. SpiceFM KE, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. With me though, Jahmby Koikai. She's looking for your votes. She's from Dagoretti South, born and raised and still residing. Yeah? Jahmby. Yeah. I heard about you around 2018. I'd been in and out of the country. And I knew that you were a reggae star, you were a media star, but I had no idea about your journey with endometriosis. I just remember one of my former employers saying that they'd held a concert at that venue to raise money for you.
Right.
I was like, that was very nice.
Yes.
But I did not understand the full scope of it. So take me through that journey from the minute you started experiencing symptoms up to your now recovery.
Okay. So I started menstruating when I was 13. I was towards the end of the 90s. And from that time on, I experienced excruciating pain. I would never be able to explain it in words. And I remember I was going to school. I was in Form 1. I was going to school. I was on the bus. So I used to take the bus from my home, which is in Dagoretti South, in City. So I used to take the bus from Dagoretti South and drop off at Ambassador. At the time, I was a student at Parklands Area Girls. So I would get off Ambassador and then walk over to Odeon, take a number 11 all the way to Paki. But on this day, I never felt it. I don't even know how to explain it, because once we got to Pan Africa around the EACC building,
Yes, I know it.
right there, I started sweating, like really, really sweating, profusely sweating, and I ended up throwing up on this guy who was seated. You remember those days of Kenya bus? We would stand and we'd hold on the rail and stuff. And so I was sweating, I was throwing up, and by the time we got to Ambassador, I was like, I can't go to school, let me go back home. And I was a bit of a delinquent, I was going through, so much identity crisis and, just teenage delinquency. But when I got home, my mom was like, I hope you haven't been kicked out of school again. I was like, no, mom, I'm really, really sick.
Yes.
And my grandma was like, okay, Sawa, you rest. Then, hopefully, you just don't unleash a letter and say we
Did
need
they know
in
you
school.
were menstruating?
No.
They didn't know. Were
No.
you menstruating?
I didn't know.
Okay.
I didn't know. That was the first time. So, the pain was
Wait,
so much.
that is your first time?
Yeah, that's my first time. That's my first
Jahmby,
time. Yeah. That was my first time and I was dying.
And you're thinking, this thing, for the rest of my life, I cannot.
I know.
Yeah.
First of all, I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. Because I was like, I ate at home last night.
Yeah.
There's no one else complaining of a bad stomach apart from me. So I went to the bath. No, my mom was like, okay, go to the clinic. There was a clinic right next to us. Go to the clinic. They'll give you some painkillers and then come back home. So I went to the clinic, and I remember that lady at the clinic, who we later found out she wasn't even a doctor.
Was she purporting to be a doctor? Was she calling herself Dr. So-and-so?
Yes, in the hood, you open a clinic everywhere.
Daktari. Yeah.
Kila mtu daktari. So anyway, so I went to her, and then she was like, have you started menstruating? Have you started your periods? I was so offended, I was like, what do you mean? Because I was a bit of a G from way back. She's like, hey, I haven't started my period, So anyway, so she gave me some painkillers, and she was like, you take this, I hope they help. If it doesn't work, come back. So I went home, and my mom was like, okay, so you have the painkillers, you take a rest.
Yes.
Then I went to the bathroom, and I came out screaming. I was like, oh my God, I'm bleeding. And that was
Had you had the conversation with your parents about what menstruation is?
No.
So when this quote unquote, we're going to call her quote unquote doctor, was asking you about your period, did you know what she was talking about?
No, I just knew it from biology and science, and of course my former classmates and the older classmates who had gone through it. But I was like, it would never happen to me. I didn't even expect it to happen to me at that time. So anyway, so we sat down with my mom and my grandma, and what they told me was, now stay away from boys, and now you're a big girl, so take care of yourself, and this is how you gotta take care of yourself. No one mentioned about pain, no one mentioned about anything, because now the thing with it, Olivia, is that my parents, my grandmother's generation and my mother's generation had been taught to normalize that pain. They'd been taught to be silent about menstrual pain. They'd been taught that it is normal for a woman to have pain when they're menstruating.
So ain't nothing special.
Ain't nothing special, girl. And when you get children, and when I started complaining about the pain, and my mom was like, okay, when you get children, it will ease up. Even though my mom had also, some sort of
Severe
pain.
menstrual cramps.
Yeah, but it wasn't as bad as mine.
Yeah.
My grandmother too. And it's not genetic. It's just that there are women who experience that pain, and there are others who don't experience that pain. So I started having, all these pains, and they wouldn't go away. And by the time I was 15, my grandmother and my mother decided to take me to the gynecologist. And when I did, the gynecologist said that, okay, Jahmby, once you get a child, the pain will go away.
Oh my goodness, that song.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then they put me on birth control at 15.
Do you mind me asking what form of birth control?
They put me on...
The pill?
Yes, the pill.
Oh, so you were on the pill as a form of birth control. Was it
Yes.
to help ease the menstrual cramping?
Right. That's what supposedly was supposed
Was
to
it
do.
heavy, your flow as well, as a result of your illness that you hadn't
It was
diagnosed
heavy.
yet?
I was always clotting. I
Yeah.
was always heavy.
Yeah.
And I'm I'm one of those people who used to use like 10 packets, 10 packets in a week.
Really?
Yes, 10 packets of pads in a week.
10 packets
10
of pads
packets.
in a week?
10 packets, Olivia, 10 packets. I bleed heavy.
Oh my.
Right.
Yeah.
So I went, and the gynecologist put me on the pill, and it was horrible. And after 3 months, I decided I'm not gonna continue with that, because the pain came back and it was horrific.
Yes.
And I was clotting more than normal, and it was just too much.
Yes.
So we went again to the doctor in the same case. They said, okay, once you get a baby, the pain will go away. But I was like, I'm in high school.
I know, like this baby could happen in like 15 years.
I know, right?
You know?
And I'm like, I'm in high school. How is this gonna happen?
Yeah.
And then I always used to ask myself, is a baby a pill?
Yeah, exactly.
Is a baby
exactly.
a pill?
Yeah.
And then, a baby comes with responsibilities.
A lot.
Am I just gonna have a baby because I
want
to
easier cramps.
Yeah, I want
Aye.
easier cramps. Or am I gonna have a baby because I will be able to take care of them?
Exactly.
Yeah. So the pain went on until I was until 2015, when it became worse, and I started having breathing problems. Now I was working at a media house in town, and I'd be going up the stairs and I wouldn't breathe. And I was on air one time, and I completely ran out of breath, and I was rushed to hospital. So my mom came, and I was taken in, and I was discharged the following day without any diagnosis. And the next day, my chest complications were horrible. So my mom decided to take me to this hospital with my grandmother, who was also experiencing a lot of stomach problems. And when I went, they did an X-ray, and they said, "Oh, your lungs are collapsed." Yeah. So like, my lungs are collapsed. What do you mean my lungs are collapsed?
Exactly.
Yeah. So the radiologist was like, "Have you been in a fight before?" Yeah, imagine. So he was asking me, were you in a fight? I said, no. Were you stabbed by anyone? I said, no. Were you in an accident? I said, no. Okay, this is very strange. This is very strange as to how you have this lung collapse. And then so they came up with this analogy.
Yeah.
And the final diagnosis as to why I have lung collapses, they said, "Oh, Jahmby, you're very skinny, so your lungs are kind of elongated, and that's why you're having a lung collapse." I said, "Okay, so what's going to happen?"
Yeah.
So they said, "Okay, you need to eat." So they gave me all these appetizers, and my mom was cooking like it's a bash in the house,
It's not the best appetizer.
Okay,
continue.
Yeah, so I ate, and the next month I was still having lung collapses.
Yes.
So I started having the surgeries, because now I wouldn't breathe. And every month when I was on my period, my lungs would collapse. So what essentially endometriosis is
Yes.
the similar lining of the tissue
Yes.
that grows inside the uterus growing on other organs. And nobody knows how this lining moves to other organs. So basically, when
So
you
is
have
it attached, or is it like a jump cells? Like, so
You see-
you have the lining of the uterus.
Yeah, right.
Do you just find a patch with it somewhere, or is it somehow connected?
it's tissue similar.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's similar.
Yeah, it's similar. So you see, when you're menstruating,
Yeah.
there's that tissue that's, that
being
comes
discharged,
out.
yes.
It's being discharged. So you have that tissue or something similar to that growing in other organs of your body.
no.
So it was growing in my lungs. So basically what that means is that when I'm having a period in or from my uterus,
Yes.
I'm also having a period in my lungs. So this tissue would bleed into my lungs. And so I'd be having pneumothoraxes, I'd be having hemothoraxes. It was horrible. It was really, really horrible. It
And
went
painful.
on and very painful. It went on for a good 2 years before I could finally find a doctor who could diagnose me. And at the time, I'd gone through 18 surgeries.
18 surgeries.
18 surgeries. So I was on TV fundraising for my grandmother, who was also diagnosed with pancreatic cancer stage 4. And I'm forever grateful for this lady called Cindy. She sent me a message and she said, Jahmby, I don't mean to be invasive, but I think you have a similar problem like I do. You have a reproductive healthcare problem. And I said, what do you mean? How is that? How are my lungs connected to my uterus?
Yes.
And then she said, you have something called endometriosis. And I was like, I never heard of that. So she told me, here's my doctor's contact if you'd like to see him. Yes. Yeah. So I decided to go and see Dr. Praful Patel at the Aga Khan Hospital. Yes. And when I saw him, he diagnosed me with thoracic endometriosis and adenomyosis stage 4. And he was very honest with me, very point blank with me. And he said, I cannot do anything for you. And I cannot do anything to you because you are a very critical case at this moment. And all the surgeries you've been through should never have been done to you. Now, because the extent of the disease is way higher, you need to see a specialist. And he was like, you need to leave this country as soon as possible. You don't have much time. And it was on me to find doctors. So we started with India and we sent our medical records to India, and the Indian doctor said, no, this is too much for us. We can't handle this. We sent to South Africa and they said, no. We sent to the UK and the doctor I found in the UK was retiring and he said, I don't think I want to go out on my retirement with this case.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. So we found Center for Endometriosis Care in Atlanta, Georgia, in the States, and sent in my medical records. And I was very, very happy. I was very elated, Olivia, because I knew finally I was going to get treated.
Yes.
I thought it was going to happen in like 2 weeks or something.
Yes.
So I sent in my medical records and they said, okay, we've reviewed this. You're going to have a consultation with the doctor on phone first. And we did. And then they said to me, we're fully booked for the next 6 months.
What? What?
Imagine.
Is endometriosis that rampant an illness?
It is. It is misdiagnosed and underdiagnosed.
And is it an illness that is something only women suffer from as a result of our reproductive system?
It is, but there are studies that are showing that some men could have it, but I mean, predominantly it is women. So the statistics are that 1 in 10 women suffer from endometriosis, but I think from my experience, I believe more African women suffer from endometriosis than before because of our healthcare systems, which do not favor African women because, first of all, of our traditions, taboos, and myths. So many women are suffering and battling this disease in silence. So we have more women, more women than the statistics show. And the statistics that show that 1 in 10 women are battling endometriosis are statistics from the West. We haven't been able to collect data
If you were suffering for 2 years and you live in Nairobi and you had the resources and access to even get surgery.
Right.
I am not surprised, Jahmby,
Yes.
that this is a problem that we have completely underexposed with regards to how many are suffering from it.
Exactly. So, and you can imagine like women from marginalized communities who don't have access.
Anywhere outside of, this is anywhere outside
Even within Nairobi.
Yeah.
Even within Nairobi.
True.
I mean, you have quacks as gynecologists in the hood. Yeah. Someone who would inject you with something, sleep with you.
Oh, no.
Yeah. You remember that quack gyna?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. That broke my heart. That really, really broke my heart. But anyway, yeah, so I
you were told you have 6 months.
Yes, I have.
We can sort of try and save you, but
Yes.
sorry, maybe in 6 months.
Right. So, and then within those 6 months, I got sick again. I was always sick, so I had to go for other surgeries as well. And I had to raise $100,000. That's 10 million Kenya shillings. 10 million Kenya shillings. Oh, Olivia, fundraising was hard. It was so hard. You can imagine fundraising and you're sick.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was so hard. It was so hard. But I'm just grateful to God. I'm really grateful to God, Olivia, because God has just given me so much strength to overcome so much. Yeah, so anyway.
Jahmby, wait,
Yeah.
I'm going to have to pause you because you have overcome
Yeah.
the most horrific ordeal.
Yeah.
Literally being on death's door.
Right.
Why Kenyan politics? Jahmby, why don't you just... You had an
Live my
all right
life.
job. Yeah. Jesus gave you this life. Why don't you just want to live this life and be like, yo, asante sana, nashukuru, niko na, air in my lungs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why Kenyan politics, Jahmby?
I have air in my lungs so that I can speak out for the people who don't have a voice, Olivia. You can imagine the women in the ghettos who are suffering. Yeah. The girls, young girls. And imagine you have young girls menstruating from the ages of 9 now.
Yes.
To way past menopause. 45. Who's going to speak
Please,
for those
let's
women?
not nini menstruate past menopause. I'm really almost, personally, I am done with it.
You're done.
If I just stopped tomorrow, I already gave birth to my beautiful boy.
Yes.
May I ask you,
Yeah.
as a result of your endometriosis,
Right.
and you're allowed to not answer
Yeah,
this
yeah,
question.
just ask, just
your
ask.
status, your fertility status.
Yeah.
Can you conceive?
Before I couldn't. But I haven't tried now, so I don't know. But I think I'm good. It's just that I haven't tried. And I don't think I want to try now at the moment because there's so much going on for me. But yeah, I mean, when the right time comes, when I'm ready, I definitely would love to have a child. And for me, it's not an issue because I believe God gives children.
Yes.
And if my body is strong enough and my body is healthy enough to carry a child, it would be a blessing. And if it doesn't happen still, I would still accept it as God's blessing for me to be on this earth alive.
Spice.
You are in Dagoretti South, all right, 94.4. But you know, more importantly than that, yeah, is the fact that I'm with one of your aspirants. One of your amazing aspirants, Jahmby Koikai. She's here and she wants to be your MP. Where is here? This is 00 Direct with Olivia Otieno every Saturday from 10 a.m. Women in fashion, women guests, music by women, and of course, I am a woman host. Thank you so much to Sheen and Abigail for joining me. They represent the African Design Hub and African Yuva. Head on to our social, SpiceFM KE. This fit, African Yuva. I love it. I'm wearing it though with a bodysuit.
Hey, it's nice.
I don't know if I can show my kitambi.
Olivia, which kitam? Oh gosh, Olivia.
You know, as a woman of a certain age. But seriously, no. More seriously though, Jahmby, we're
Yeah.
talking about your aspirations to
Right.
be the MP for Dagoretti South
Yes.
come 10th. Because
Yes.
9th guys are going to vote.
Yes.
How many of your constituents are registered voters?
116,000 voters.
116,000 registered.
Yes.
Wanajua how to check and where their polling stations are. Umewaambia.
Nimeshaambia, wanajua.
So what is your current challenge? Because you're not affiliated to any political party. You are running as an independent. I can't
Right.
even imagine it.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. But my life has been crazy, Olivia. I mean, I just do crazy stuff.
You overcame death.
Yeah,
Death
yeah.
looks at you, she's like, that mama, me, I can't. Yeah.
Yeah. And even besides endometriosis, I mean, I've done crazy stuff in my life. Like, even me, I'm just like, I'm just a survivor. I'm the biggest survivor ever.
Yeah.
You know, so even this, I'm surviving. So the biggest impediment is funding.
Yes.
I don't have funding and we need money and resources so that we can be able to actualize, that win.
Yes.
And I know we're going to win. I'm very confident of a victory.
Number ya M-Pesa ni? Let me.
Oh, am I allowed to do that?
Yeah, you are allowed.
No,
See, I've just asked you directly.
Oh,
Number ya
nice.
M-Pesa.
Okay, number M-Pesa ni 0721
0721
54.
Is this your direct number?
Yeah, that's my direct number.
Wait.
Yeah.
I want to pay bill.
Wait, just send to my number. You can WhatsApp me. You can talk to me. Listen, Olivia, I told you I'm the most available person ever.
I do this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
07.
Everyone knows that number.
Me, I didn't know the number. Mumbi, you have the number?
Everyone knows
Mumbi,
that
you have
number.
Jahmby's
Mumbi
number?
has it. All
Mumbi is lying
everywhere.
now. Mumbi
has it. Mumbi ako
kama
nayo.
ulikuwa na hiyo number na hujanipe. Honestly, we are now breaking up. Remember those signs of break up in today's Saturday Standard? This is a sign. Akana number ya Jahmby anakupe. 07
21
21
54
54
32
32
39.
39.
Yeah, Mary Jahmby.
0721 54 32 39.
Yeah, whatever you may send is appreciated and God bless you.
This lady has overcome being on death's door. Can we please support Jahmby to be an MP, voter dada?
Yeah.
Can we please? Mumbi natuma ngapi? Say now. Oh.
Asante Mumbi. Asante. Nagoda kubless sana. Thank you so much. Yeah.
What do you want to leave your constituents with?
I would like to let the people of Dagoretti South know that we have a moment in time to be the change we want to see. And we have a moment in time to take the chance to be the change we want to see. I mean, so many times we've been presented with candidates and aspirants who speak of change, but they never deliver. But this is one of us. I am one of you. I am part of Dagoretti South. I come from Dagoretti South with a lived experience of the challenges we go through, and I know firsthand how we will be able to bring that change that we badly need. And I will also be able to formulate and legislate policies in terms of women reproductive health care in this country, not only for Dagoretti South, but for the entire nation and for the African continent. So if you give me this chance, and I know, not if, when you give me that chance, I know we will be able to make Dagoretti South a great constituency.
And what Jahmby is saying, if someone's giving you money, take it.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But then still vote for her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't have the money, but yeah. Ukipatiwa do maze.
Chukua tu.
Kula.
Yeah, kula.
Yeah,
you know, unga, mafuta,
Yeah, but unajua kura ni siri yako. Yeah, so wacha hiyo siri kwenye ya Jahmby. Yeah.
Enjoy your weekend and
Thank
all
you,
the
my dear.
best.
Thank you so much, Olivia.
SpiceFM.